Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Championship Prediction League. Delighted to be joined by Gab Sutton for our Game Week 34 Championship predictions. It's really hotting up in the table right now, and it's hotting up in our table as well for this prediction league because Ollie's had quite a good week. I got 5 points. Gab, you also got 5 points in what was a very difficult week of fixtures to predict. Ollie Man got 9 points, and that means the current scores. I'm on 143, been leading the way the whole season. Ollie now on 131. Gab work to do on 124, but plenty of points still up for grabs. Remember, it's 1 point if you get the correct result. It's 3 points if you get the correct score. And it's 5 points if you get correct score with 5 goals or more. If you're playing along at home, let us know how you get on. Gab, we've just seen Sheffield Wednesday, unfortunately, get relegated in the Sheffield derby, but midweek round of fixtures to look forward to, starting with Blackburn, Bristol City, and Michael O'Neill making quite the impact at Ewood Park.
Yes, certainly is. Definitely, we saw his organisational qualities at Stoke City, didn't we? And he certainly brought them to Blackburn Rovers. I've always felt, in terms of individual players, Blackburn have enough good players to stay up. Big fan of the likes of Alabiosi, for instance, on the right-hand side. And I think they just need to work on that collective organisation. And it looks like they found that under O'Neill. So, yeah, really positive start, back-to-back wins.
And that very, very late goal on Friday night, a massive win for them against Preston North End. Another home game here. Bristol City, I find, as one of the toughest teams to predict in the league. They had that obviously 5-0 home defeat to Derby, which was absolutely mad. They lost again this weekend, 1-0 at Swansea. I'm expecting slightly more from Gerhard Struber's men here, so I'm on the fence for this one, mate. I will back Bristol City to get a point, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. How about you?
Yeah, I think for me, with regards to Bristol City, I was impressed by what I saw from them at Hull City. I do like Ethan Horvath, and I think he can bring that sprinkling of creativity to that team. But I also feel like they're missing that ruthless edge in certain areas, and I think that's what's let them down. Like you mentioned, that inconsistency. So I'm going to back a 1-0 victory for Blackburn Rovers.
Very interesting indeed. It brings us on to Hull versus Derby. You mentioned Hull City there. They've hit a bit of a sticky patch and a bit of a shock home defeat, in my opinion, to QPR at the weekend, losing 3-1. They're conceding a lot of goals, and I don't want to say it, but are the XG gods catching up to them, Gab, at the minute? Because they're conceding more chances. They're conceding a decent number of goals as well. Derby, meanwhile, we thought they might go to Watford and get a win. They didn't. They lost 2-0. They're a good away form, kind of come crashing down there. This one's in the balance for me, but I think I'm going to back Derby to get back to winning ways. How about you?
Well, I'm going for the 5 points here because I've gone with 3-2 to Derby County. I think that Hull, I agree with you. I think that for the first up until January, they'd got a lot of wins. But I think fans could probably count on one hand the number of times they've actually played well. They've actually run a game this season. And so it wouldn't surprise me if the back-to-back defeats they come into this game off the back of turns into maybe a deeper drop in form. And on that basis, I'm willing to back the firepower that Derby have. You're looking at Patrick Agyemang, who's in fantastic form at the moment. I'm going to back the Rams. I think Hull have got the means to cause problems as well. I'm going to go with a 3-2 away win.
Going for the bonus points. That is 3 goals conceded at home to Bristol City. 4 goals, let's not forget, they conceded to Chelsea in the FA Cup as well. And then 3 goals at home to QPR. So you could be right with backing them to concede another 3 goals here. I've gone for a slightly lower scoring 2-1 away win. I'm going to back the Rams to get back to winning ways. They need to get back to winning ways on the road to kind of get themselves back in that top 6 picture. That should be a very close game indeed. Middlesbrough Leicester up next, and Gary Rowett getting a point on in his first game in charge at Stoke. Gab, we are expecting slight improvement from Leicester. Middlesbrough, meanwhile, bit of a sticky 0-0 draw against Oxford. I know as a Coventry fan what that is like. The form book would suggest there's a chance for Leicester to get something here. I'm not sure they will. How about you?
I think Leicester are going to win 1-0.
Whoa.
because I think Gary Rowett is very good at coming into a club and just instantly reorganising things. I think if you look at when he's gone into clubs, how quickly they've got their first clean sheet, how quickly he's able to establish those organisational basics. We saw that a little bit from Leicester. In their first game away at Stoke, I think it was at the weekend, and they were better in the second half. Couldn't quite hold on for all 3 points, but definite signs of reorganisation. Excuse me, under Rowett, and I think they'll be looking to take that to Seaside. So I think it's going to be a 1-0 away win.
I'll be very happy if that is the case, because obviously Boro will drop more points. I think they will get the job done though, Boro. I don't think we should write off them too quickly. They've lost an away game at Coventry, which Coventry performed exceptionally in. They've drawn 0-0 against an Oxford side we've said is really well organised recently and done really well defensively. I think they will have too much for Leicester. I'm going for a 2-1 Boro win. I think they'll just edge it. I think it'll be very close indeed. At 1-goal margin probably in that game. Swansea versus Preston, mate. I'll let you lead the way on this one, because Swansea are reasonably good at home. And I feel personally that we might be seeing a bit of a drop off from Preston over the next few game weeks.
Yes, I feel similarly about them to Hull City. I think they're already only got one win in their last 7 as well. So there's definitely signs that they've dropped off a little bit. They still had a really progressive season in contrast with last year, and I certainly think that should be remembered when it comes to the discourse around Preston North End. But yeah, I think momentum's elsewhere at the moment. So I think Swans are going to win. Their home form under Vitor Matos has been very impressive, and I think that will continue. So I'm going 2-0 to the Swans, maybe with a Jan Vipotnik brace.
Yeah, he's in flying form. Another goal again this weekend. I agree with you. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Swansea win. I think they're a very good side at home. I think they win quite a lot of games 1-0 at home as well. So I'll back that again, and probably Vipotnik with another goal. Watford's home form will come into play again. It's obviously very impressive because they host Ipswich Town on Tuesday night. Watford, 9 wins, 5 draws, 3 defeats at Vicarage Road so far this season. Ed's still getting the win 2-0 over Derby County at the weekend. We've spoken a lot about how exciting their forward players are going forward and how they can tear teams apart, Gab. Can they do something against an Ipswich Town team that conceded 5 at the weekend to Wrexham?
Well, I think Ipswich are going to be reorganise themselves very quickly. I think it's common, unless you're a really poor team, which we know Ipswich aren't. They're one of the best teams in the Championship, and they've proven that again this season. But I think after conceding 5 away at Wrexham, I think the defence is going to be the big focus for Kieran McKenna, and I think that they're going to have their sort of defensive house in order as they go to Vicarage Road, and I think they're going to keep out Watford's sort of individual quality, and I think it's going to be back to business for Ipswich. So I'm going to back a 2-0 away win with a response from Kieran McKenna's side.
I can certainly see that, and obviously if they do want to get promoted, they probably need a response. I've seen some Ipswich fans getting quite frustrated with McKenna recently, but to be expected if they're dropping points and losing games. I think they were second best in terms of chance creation against Wrexham and conceded quite a lot of chances. Obviously conceded the 5 goals, goes without saying. I think they might struggle slightly here. I think it'll be a really entertaining game. And although I'm not going to go for the bonus points, I'm going to back a 2-2 draw at Vicarage Road. I really like Watford. Excited to see what Ed still can do moving forward as well. I love their squad, love their attacking players. I think they can get something here. And I think I'll back a 2-2 draw. Moves us on to West Brom, whose misery just continues, Gab, at the moment. They're struggling to score goals. I think it's 3 games without a goal right now. Struggling to even get really shots on target. I was staggered watching the entirety of the Coventry game, how little threat they provided in that 4-2 that Eric Ramsey's got them set up in. There was a lot of toxicity around the Hawthorns, especially when the second goal went in. They rallied a little bit in the second half, but never really showed much of a threat. And I really worry for those forwards and the lack of chances they're getting. They host Charlton on Tuesday night, and we know what Nathan Jones likes to do in these sorts of away games. He'll build on the crowd's frustration if it does happen. He'll start with a solid defence, and for that reason, I'm going to back a 1-0 Charlton win. And sad to say it, that could bring the end to Eric Ramsey's short spell in charge. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was at St Andrews a week or two ago, and West Brom put in a spirited performance, and that draw signalled back-to-back clean sheets for West Brom, and it sort of hinted at them sort of steadying the ship a little bit. But then they lose 2-0 to Coventry, and so I think that this is approaching a must-win game, both for West Bromwich Albion and for Eric Ramsey. But I'm not quite willing to go with a Charlton win, although it's something I could definitely see. But I am going to go with a goalless draw, which isn't what West Brom need. But I don't see them winning this game, so I'm going 0-0.
We'll probably have another chat on another show about West Brom and their relegation hopes or dreams of survival.
Dreams.
Dreams of staying
More
up.
like a nightmare.
More like a nightmare, exactly. It's looking quite bleak for them right now. Next up, we've got Wrexham versus Portsmouth. We talked about Wrexham, their goal scoring already. Playoff places, they're looking stronger and stronger, I think, as the season goes on. Portsmouth, meanwhile, Gab, where did that win come from? Away at Millwall, none of us predicted it. 3-1, massive win for John Mousinho. They're going to follow it up here with another tricky away game?
But you know what, Simon? They had a game against Sheffield United a week or a couple of weeks ago where they lost 1-0, but they played very well and created tons of chances and looked very aggressive against the ball and bags of energy. And it looked like they had that, Fortress Fratton factor back. And so it hasn't, yes, nobody predicted it because, we tend to have a lot of faith in Millwall and Alex Neil. But I think with regards to Portsmouth, I think there's enough in performances to suggest that those kind of results could have been around the corner. But I think that was a really important result for them because it means that they're now 6 points above the drop zone with a game in hand. So they've given themselves some crucial sort of leeway, I suppose, now. But I think going to Wrexham absolutely tore Ipswich, one of the best teams in the league, apart. What I'm really struck by, Simon, is the signing of George Thomason, because he obviously was recognised as a midfielder at Bolton Wanderers, and Phil Parkinson's converted him into a left wing back, and he's taken that on that role like a duck to water. So well done to George Thomason, Josh Windass with his vision, creating Kiefer Moore, just one of the best strikers in the Championship, has been for such a long time. Just that mobility that he offers, as well as that classic target man presence. And he took his goal really well, rifling it into the near post, and the Broadhead coming off the bench, really creative. So I think I look at Wrexham and I just think they've got so many ways to hurt the opposition. And with that in mind, I'm not sure Portsmouth get a result there. So let me just have a quick look at what I've gone for, because I did write it down. I'm going 3-1 to Wrexham.
Very interesting. I think for Portsmouth, the wingers are so important. Milanic Ali and Caballero, the Paraguayan, who's come in and done quite well recently. And I like the trio of Adams, John Swift, and Marlon Pack, who played at the Den as well. I actually quite like that as a bit of a midfield trio. So although I do like Portsmouth and I think they'll stay up, and we've spoken about that a lot, Wrexham are really strong right now. I'm going to side with you, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 Wrexham win, maybe a last-minute winner to break Portsmouth hearts. Southampton QPR, mate. Southampton dropping points, you'd have to probably say, at home to Charlton, but still well in the playoff mix and will fancy their chances, even though QPR got a big away win at Hull this weekend.
Yeah, it feels like we've been talking about Southampton quite negatively for 80% of the season. And then other than that, there's been sort of 10% periods where they've just put together these crazy winning runs. And that's been enough to get them into the playoff conversation, because the bar is on the lower side, I would think, from a points perspective. So yeah, Southampton do have a chance. I draw some parallels between Southampton's recent improvement in form and the appointment of Ben Garner as the assistant to Tom Director, because as a coach, in that sort of background role, I think I'm quite a big believer that sometimes it might not work for somebody as a number one, but actually as a number two, where they can just be the technical coach rather than the leader, they can have a big impact. So I sort of buy into that a little bit with regards to Ben Garner and maybe some sort of impact. And I think that the form would back that up. So I think with the quality that Southampton have, I'm backing a 3-1 home win.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I will back Southampton when it's 7 games without defeat now for them. as well. And I never give QPR enough credit. I was very impressed with their away win at the weekend. I've gone for a 2-0 Southampton win, though. It's a tough place to go. And Southampton, I believe, after this game at the weekend, have Sheffield Wednesday. So if they get back-to-back wins here, they're right in the mix, right in the playoff picture. Moving on to Wednesday night games, Gab, and Millwall versus Birmingham. Hey, Birmingham at Carrow Road, not a bad result there at all, mate.
Yeah.
Good performance. Happy with that?
Yeah, over the moon with that. I think what's really interesting is we've designed our attack for much of the season on who's going to get the best out of Jay Stansfield. Well, the starting 11 actually had Marvin Deutsch and August Priest as the sort of central attacking combination rather than Stansfield. And it kind of worked with Carlos Vicente coming in off the right-hand side. And he looks like a beautiful footballer who can provide that creative spark. So I'm really happy with our attacking dynamics at the moment, with Dibby Gray coming in off the left as well. And I really also, the other thing I would say, Jonathan Panzo, it might have started a spell with yourselves, didn't he, Simon?
Yes, he did.
He's been really good, and him coming in on the left side of central defence has allowed Clara to move over to the right, because that's where Clara played in our title-winning season, and because we brought in Phil Neumann, Clara's moved over to the left, but he's right-footed, so it's maybe been a little bit awkward for him at times, whereas him moving over to the right, it's almost like two signings in one. So lots of encouraging signs is the short answer for in terms of additions. And yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty bullish at the moment. So I've actually gone slightly biased, of course. We've got a good record at Millwall as well. So I'm going with a 2-1 Birmingham City win.
We've spoken all season about all Birmingham needs to do is sort out their away form and they'll be in the playoffs. It looks like that's happened. Is that 3 away wins in a row now? Oxford, Sheffield Wednesday, and now Norwich as well?
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing, because we'd won a couple of away games, but the obvious point to make was that Sheff Wednesday and Oxford are the two weakest hosts that we could face. Whereas going to Norwich under Philippe Clement, I think, and winning with 2 early goals as well in the first half, I think is a real statement of our ambitions. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how we get on at Millwall, because it's a great opportunity to really put the heat on the current top 6. We could possibly go into the top 6 for the first time since August, I believe, if we were able to win tonight, and would also close the gap on the likes of Hull and maybe Millwall themselves, because it would only be 4 points if we won at the Den. So and Millwall a third. So it shows we're coming to the boil at the right time.
Storming, and not a team you want to play in the playoffs, that is for sure. I've gone for a 1-1 draw, mate. I really like Millwall. I don't want to lose faith in them after one home defeat. I think Alex Neil's so solid. I think they've got a really good squad. Highly praised them all season. They are still third in the league. If Birmingham go there and win, mate, promotion is on the cards, isn't it? You'll be absolutely over the moon. Norwich versus Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday night as well. We won't spend too much time on this one. Wednesday sadly relegated on Sunday despite a battling second half performance at Bramall Lane, but officially mathematically relegated. Norwich looking for a response. I think they'll get it, mate. And I'm going to push the boat out and go for the bonus points. I think we might see a very defeated Sheffield Wednesday now it's confirmed. I'm going 5-0 Norwich. How about you?
Yeah, it's an interesting tactic, isn't it, for us with Sheffield Wednesday this season? Do we go for the 5-0 to their opponents to try and get those extra points? I think Wednesday have obviously had their fate mathematically confirmed, but I'm a big believer in Norwich City. I think you look at the form of Traore at the moment, who got that hat-trick away at Oxford. I think that Jova Makama's proved an absolutely inspired acquisition. Vardy McConville's really impressed me in central defence. Oscar Schwartau has been in fine form as well. So yeah, I've been very impressed with Norwich City. I'm going 3-0 to the hosts.
Excellent. Up next is a massive game, I think, on paper. Sheffield United versus league leaders Coventry City on Wednesday night. Sheffield United probably slightly disappointing. Obviously, Calvin Phillips got sent off as well in the derby. Did get over the line. They are closing in on the playoffs. Let me have a quick check of the table and see how far they are off right now.
I think 6 points, isn't it?
It's only 6 points, mate. Only 6 points. And if they beat Coventry, like Birmingham, they'll be rocking and rolling full of confidence. I think we're in for such an exciting end to the season in terms of the playoff chase. Coventry, very good against Middlesbrough, very solid against West Brom, but West Brom's performance made it kind of hard to judge What I will say is it looks like Jack Rodoni is getting back to his best. He spoke of having to play through injuries recently. Seems to be coming out the back of that now. Scored a wonderful goal from about 30 yards. He's really key. It's going to be a tough game, but Coventry have got 6 points from their last two. I think a draw would be a very good result. Take that every day of the week. And I think I will go for a very entertaining 2-2 draw. What are you thinking, Gab?
I mean, Chris Wilder's going to be dancing on the tables all night tonight. So how good the preparation's going to be on Monday and Tuesday, I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm really enthused by Coventry's form, and perhaps you can speak to this in a little bit more detail, Simon. I think that performance and result against Middlesbrough could prove to be a really pivotal evening in the season, especially because Coventry have backed it up, and especially because Ipswich and Middlesbrough have since dropped points. So it's been an amazing, like if Carlsberg's did weeks, it's other brands of alcoholic beverages are available. But no, I think I've been very enthused by Coventry's form, and I'm going to back an away victory here. I am going to go 2-1 to the Sky Blues.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Just a quick follow-up on Cov. It feels like Onyeka has just been the missing piece. We just needed a big physical presence to win the ball back in midfield and give confidence and a bit of Premier League quality to the rest of the team. Won the ball back for the opening goal at West Brom. Just been fantastic, mate. Honestly, what a signing. And he has come in and just made a complete difference. And the confidence now that they've got should be flowing again. They should start to play how they were earlier in the season. Let the other teams drop points. It really helped. We won the early kickoff and then the others had to play. I think they might have struggled with that a bit. Obviously, we're playing on Wednesday night, slightly different this midweek. I'm confident, though. I will go for a draw. Sheffield United are a good team. And we finish with Stoke City versus Oxford, Gab. And Stoke have completely unravelled, really. Just check the table. All of a sudden, Stoke City are 16th in the Championship, just where they belong, really. It's happened again. And they host an Oxford United team who've got a very good point at Middlesbrough. Look really hard to beat right now. Still 5 points from safety, so work to do. But they can get a couple of wins under their belt. They'll be right back in the mix. I'm very intrigued at what you're going to say for this one.
Yeah, I've gone with a 1-1 draw here. I think Oxford United, although they're just under a point a game, I believe, under Matt Bloomfield, because they've only actually won once away at Leicester. But I would argue that generally speaking, the fixtures for Oxford in that time have been pretty tricky. And I think that after this, from this game onwards, they're maybe a little bit more favourable. I've gone with a 1-1 draw. Yeah, but I'm encouraged by Oxford's recent form, and they do seem to be able to put in some competitive performances against the better teams in the league. So I don't see them losing this one.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Since Stoke beat Coventry in the FA Cup third round, their fixtures by comparison haven't been horrendous. They drew with QPR at home, obviously lost to Middlesbrough, drew with Birmingham, lost to Southampton. Since then, a 0-0 with West Brom, a 1-0 defeat at Charlton. They lost in the FA Cup. And they've drawn with Leicester. And those are teams that you think they need to be beaten if they don't want to get completely sucked into, dare I say it, a relegation battle. This will tell us an awful lot. And I feel right now that I'd rather side with Oxford, mate. So I'm going to Stoke 0, Oxford 1 in a result that would really, really shake up the bottom of the table. That's it. That's our midweek score predictions. We will gather later this week to see how we've done. Gab, thank you very much for joining me. Please get your scores, comments, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff down below. Very interested to see what you think your team will do this midweek, but I'll see you later in the week. Thanks for watching.